Hello, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Camille. Welcome to Two Studios Art Channel.
Hit like and subscribe to get our free demos and tutorials right to your inbox.
Happy painting!
Hello everyone, I'm Jackie from Two Studios Art. Today we're going to be using oil pastels in black with a contour drawing, and then we're going to be adding watercolors. The project today is an exercise from this very interesting book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. The exercise we're doing today is one in which Betty Edwards describes that by doing a contour drawing and not lifting our oil pastel or crayon off the paper, we will be developing the right side of our brain, the creative side of our brain. Today, the materials I'm using are Strathmore watercolor paper, 11 by 15, but you can use any size you like. I've put masking tape around my paper to give it a nice clean edge, and I've taped the sides of my paper down so that it doesn't move while I'm doing my contour drawing. The watercolors I'm using today are Yarka watercolors. They're a semi-moist watercolor which I purchased from Opus Art Supplies. They're terrific value for the money. They're inexpensive and the pigments are excellent. They're from Russia. Yarka means bright in Russian. I'll be using two brushes today. These are not traditional watercolor brushes. This is just a filbert, size 16. This way it will give you a broad stroke. This way it will give you a narrow line. This is a 1-inch angled shader. These are two of my favorite brushes. But as I said, they're not actually a watercolor brush. A watercolor brush holds more water, and if you were a pure watercolorist, that's what you would be using. Today I'm doing mixed media. I've prepared a still life. With artificial fruits and flowers. I keep artificial fruits and flowers in my studio because you don't always have fresh fruit. And sometimes you just want to practice your drawing skills or integrate shapes into a painting. So today the idea is to use an oil pastel in black or a black crayon. I'm going to draw without lifting my oil pastel from my paper. The idea is not to make a perfect drawing, but to do a contour drawing by letting your eye follow the shapes in your still life arrangement. It doesn't have to be fruits or flowers. You could put out jugs, cups, anything at all. But the idea is not to lift your hand from the paper. If you do accidentally lift it, just put it back down again. Remember, we're going to have an interesting drawing. We're not seeking perfection. We're seeking, well, something very interesting. So let's get started. I'm going to just start to draw. I'm starting with my grapes, and I'm just getting the shapes. I'm not lifting my oil pastel off the paper. That means that many of the lines will be overlapping. It won't be a photographic drawing. It'll be an interpretive drawing to develop the right side of our brains. I'm just going to keep on looking at the shapes that I see and drawing them in. You'll find this a very interesting project. when you think you have one shape in, just transfer over to another shape without lifting your oil pastel or crayon. It's a completely different approach to drawing. I'm just looking at what I'm drawing. I'm not looking at my paper. I don't know what it will look like until I stop. I'm now on to an apple, and I'm going to go on to a pomegranate that's just beside the apple. And then there's a pear, a stem, and a yellow flower. Leaves. And there's also a tray. There. Well, that's interesting. You never know what you're going to get. But I see I've actually got everything in there. If you're not intending to paint, you can do this exercise on any kind of paper. But if you're adding paint, then I would suggest that you do it on watercolor paper. You can use acrylics, but today I'm using the Yarka watercolors. Any watercolors will do. Once you start painting over oil pastel or crayon, you'll get some very interesting results. The first part of the activity is to develop the right side of your brain. The next part is to add the colors that you like. So I'll get started. I'm not going to be concerned about where the light is hitting. I'm just going to have a little bit of fun painting. I expect it'll be quite a colorful painting. Now, as you can see, as the oil pastel resists the paint, you're going to find some very interesting results. This is a quick project. I didn't take a long time doing my drawing. Some people may prefer to do it longer. I like to work fast and fresh. And you can see there's some resist going on. If I want to get some highlights, I can wash my brush, take some of the paint off, dab it with my paper towel, and that'll give me a few highlights. Maybe I'll do a highlight over here too. I can examine that a little bit more later on too. You get some really interesting effects with the resist method. I can see the oil pushing away the paint in certain spots. It's a bit too dark, that's all right. I can dab it a little bit. This will be a fun activity for you to do at home. If you don't have oil pastels, just use crayons. It doesn't have to be black. As you can see, when you dab off some of the paint, you get a different effect, slightly more three-dimensional. I find that young people and children enjoy working with the oil pastel, and even if they pick up their brush, or sorry, their oil pastel in the middle of the drawing, that's fine. They can just put it right back down again and continue drawing. The thing is, it's always going to be an interesting surprise. There, a colorful painting to brighten the day. I see I haven't quite got in my yellow pear, my greenish yellow pear, I should say. Just going to change my brush to my angled shader. Get a bit more bright yellow in there. This is a very fast project that you can do in no time at all. Sometimes you just want to have a quick art experience. And this is a good way to do it while developing the creative side of your brain. Just going to take a little bit of color off there. Add some yellow there. There we go. Just a fun little art experience to brighten your day. Remember, a day painting is a good day. So I did my contour drawing without lifting my oil pastel off the paper. Just kept drawing all the shapes I saw. Then I started painting with my watercolors. I'm going to take the masking tape off, and you'll see that you'll get a nice clean edge to your work. It's well worth the effort putting the masking tape on. Always pull it away from the painting. That way it won't tear the paper. There we are. Contour drawing first. The oil pastel or the crayon will resist the painting, so you'll get some interesting little effects here and there. You add your watercolor. You can lift off some of the color if you want to do some highlights. I'm going to lift a little bit off the top of this apple. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. The book Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards was our inspiration for this project. It's a quick exercise to develop the creative side of your brain. We used crayon or oil pastel for our drawing and Yarka watercolors. But don't forget, any watercolors you have will be just fine. Please go to our YouTube 2Art Studio and like and subscribe, and that way all our new videos will come right into your inbox. Have fun painting and enjoy your drawing too. See you next time. Bye.